Bayley and Damage CTRL's story has even more new developments happening, so we'll see what's new there. We'll also check out what's new with Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and more. Starting things off with the interesting developments happening with Bayley versus Damage CTRL. Bayley sat down with Kayla Braxton for an interview, and she went over the recent events and even touched on some things in the very early days of Damage CTRL. Bayley acknowledged the fact that she probably made a lot of enemies over the last few years due to what she did with Damage CTRL. But Bayley explained that she didn't really care about what she was doing to everyone else at the time because she wasn't doing it for herself. She claims that everything she was doing was for Dakota and Io and how she genuinely wanted to always get them to that next level. And although Bayley was a heel faction leader at the time, her words looking back at the early day run together does seem pretty honest and true. She handpicked Dakota and Io to be in her faction and always helped them in whatever way she could during that time period. Bayley explained that Dakota, Io, and Damage CTRL altogether was everything to her, and that's why she did anything for them. Bayley did point out that everything backfired on her and how she's all alone now in current day. She plans on adapting to this new solo status and still trying to find a way to break Damage CTRL. And this is when a new part of the storyline was teased and introduced that could lead towards two more superstars joining the fold, and that's Naomi and Bianca Belair. Naomi was seen watching Bayley's interview and seemed very sad and disheartened by watching it. That's when Bianca Belair came up to Naomi and told her not to feel bad for Bayley because Bayley brought this on herself and how she couldn't be trusted. However, Naomi still related to what Bayley was going through and told Bianca that she's been in similar situations before of being alone and losing partners. But Bianca Belair wasn't backing down from her stance on this entire situation. Bianca made a great point and told Naomi how she wasn't around for the destruction that Damage CTRL caused, so she doesn't know what it was like. And that's very true. Naomi had walked out of the company in spring 2022, while Damage CTRL debuted a few months later that summer, so Naomi completely missed the entire run of the original version of Damage CTRL. So that's basically why Naomi feels for Bayley, because she missed that entire run and was never attacked by Bayley's version of the group. And this all makes sense. When we've been talking about potential new partners for Bayley, we discussed how it has to be someone who never really felt the wrath of Bayley's Damage CTRL, and Naomi perfectly fits that description. And for Bianca Belair, her stance is absolutely solid too. It's not heel-like for Bianca Belair to throw Bayley to the wolves. Bianca felt the wrath of Bayley and Damage CTRL the most out of anyone else over the last few years. So if anyone should be against helping Bayley, it does make sense for it to be Bianca. Bayley and Damage CTRL tried to steal the women's title from Bianca Belair several times in 2022. So her stance is completely justified. But the direction of this new part of the story could be that Bianca Belair will eventually cave in over time to help Bayley. It's basically another lightly remixed version of Jey Uso's storyline that we saw a few months back on Raw. Jey Uso broke away from a heel faction, was a babyface that was all on his own with no friends due to everything he did to everyone while he was in the bloodline, and no one wanted to trust him or help him out because of that. But all it took was one person, Sami Zayn, to embrace Jey Uso and try to get others to give Jey another chance, and before you knew it, everyone was mostly cool with Jey again. So it seems like the exact same story, or a very similar one, could be happening here with Bayley, Naomi, and Bianca Belair. Naomi could be the role of Sami Zayn, the individual that stands by Bayley and tries to get others to see that Bayley is a changed person, while Bianca Belair will go on a similar arc to Kevin Owens and a few others from Jey's story of wanting to do nothing with Bayley starting off, but will eventually realize that Bayley has changed and offers Bayley their help as the weeks go on. So we've been discussing the idea of Bayley's backup for weeks now, and it looks like WWE has answered that question with the big reveal that Naomi and Bianca Belair could be joining the story and coming to Bayley's aid real soon in the coming weeks. Damage CTRL also cut a backstage promo where Dakota Kai once again looked like the leader, but they all had some lines this time around. They all said that Bayley has never been a part of Damage CTRL's actual vision this entire time. They insulted Bayley's intelligence and said that it was extremely easy to manipulate her. That segment ended with the reveal that Dakota Kai and Bayley will be going one-on-one next week on SmackDown. And this could be another important moment for the story because it's very likely that Damage CTRL will jump Bayley and attack her once again 4-on-1. And that's when we could see Naomi run out and try to help Bayley. And Bianca Belair may also come out maybe to help Naomi more than Bayley at first. But like we said, over time, Bianca Belair will come around and accept this new version of Bayley and realize Bayley isn't the same person she was a few years back. So that seems to be where this storyline is going to next. Bayley's reinforcements against Damage CTRL are about to be introduced, possibly as soon as next week. The Rock, Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, and Seth Rollins all met on SmackDown this week to address the tag team match challenge for WrestleMania. The first big thing to talk about and point out is that Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins came out from the crowd with an entrance that identically mimicked the Shield's entrance from back in the day. Seth Rollins came down the staircase that the Shield came down a majority of the time, while Cody came out from the opposite one. Seth was even wearing all black like those Shield days, which is pretty rare to see because Seth has always loud outfits on nowadays. Also, it was pretty important to note out how they both came out to Cody's music. Seth's music didn't get played at all. So even that entrance alone is getting a lot of attention because there's a lot of Shield references there. Seth did this back in 2022 to get inside Roman's head, but is he doing this now to potentially foreshadow about what he could do to Cody Rhodes? Taking all the Shield references into consideration and really thinking about it, everyone knows what Seth Rollins did to the Shield and how it ended because of him betraying them. So are these all Shield references meant to tease the idea once again of Seth betraying someone? It's a theory that's definitely gaining momentum now through little hints like this that we're starting to see more and more of. They all went back and forth with each other until Seth Rollins accepted the challenge. Roman did try to adjust the situation by asking Cody Rhodes if he was going to allow Seth to speak on his behalf like that. The segment ended with The Rock saying that Cody being 20 years younger than his siblings was due to the fact that Cody was a mistake. Cody then slapped The Rock and got revenge for the WrestleMania press conference slap. And that was where the story left off at. The tag team match for night one is now official. There's no word on if this match will main event night one, but considering all the star power it has, including The Rock's first full WrestleMania match in over 11 years, it's pretty safe to assume that it will be headlining night one. The interactions between the four stars have been great, but some fans are a bit critical of The Rock on the mic, saying that he often repeats the same line several times, and how it takes him a while to get to the point. So we'll see if that's something that gets cleaned up in the coming weeks, but other than that, it's been a pretty amazing build up to two big matches that we'll see on night one and night two of WrestleMania. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below, don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.